So, hello, we are going to spend the next hour together. We are Daphne and Rosalie, business analyst at Odoo, and today we will see how we can use industry event management with the application rental and the quotation template in order to better your business. So first we'll have a few introduction on, like I said, industry rental and quotation template. Then we will dive into Odoo with a demo. So if you haven't heard about industry until today, industry, it really allows you to have a database that is pre-configured and they are really sector specific. So it's nice you have configuration, website, product sometimes. We have more than 100 from air salon to food distribution. And the one that we are going to use today is event management. In this event management, we are going to use the application rental. So as the name says, it is for to rent product, but also services that we can render to our customers. It's nice because we can see the availability and schedule our products, and we will have also dynamic pricing. So it means that based on the period that we are going to have, for example, a day, a week, we have the price that match directly with it. Specifically here, we will also see feature that I knew in Odoo 19. So it is the fact that we can now create rental order directly from the project app and that we have a seamless integration with the planning application. Something else that will be a key feature in our demo is going to be the quotation template. You will see that using quotation template can really up your efficiency and it can really give a more professional look to your quotes. To do this, we will use the quote calculators. It really allows real-time calculation with data directly from the database, and it allows flexible solutions for computation of price or something like this that could be more complex than just a regular fixed price. With the quote builder, it also allows to have a more design to your quote and to have a professional look to it. Now we're going to dive into our use case.
So in this use case, we will both work at Odoo, a premium event management company that specializes in themed experiences. There are two or three things that you need to know about us, and the first one is that we offer a range of predefined packages, themed packages to our customers. But our strength lies in our ability to customize nearly every aspect of an event to align with our customers' needs and budgets. So to do this, we need a robust tool to keep track of all of the variables that will impact our pricing. Imagine if you had to do this with multiple Excel spreadsheets, mental computations, copy pasting, it would be a mess and it would be extremely time consuming. But fortunately, we have Odoo to do that for us, and that's one of the things that we are going to see today. Another important thing is that we are a high-end event company, so it means our branding has to be aligned with our offering. And to do this, we pay a lot of attention to the appearance of our quotes, our documents in general, and our communication. In terms of roles now, I am the newest addition to the Odoo team. So I've been hired as a sales representative, but as you know, in those kind of small companies, everyone is a bit polyvalent. On the other hand, Rosalie here has been here for a while now. She's a senior sales, and today she will be guiding me through the more advanced configuration of the whole sales process. So now that you know everything that you need to know about the use case and ODA, let's dive into the flow. So our journey will commence at the very beginning of the sales process, which is the lead acquisition. And most of our leads, they come from our website. So when we are on our website, you can see that we have a beautiful landing page with a portfolio here under and a few pages here above as well. So all of this was made possible by the event management industry that we installed and that already pre-configured all of the features that we need for our activity. In terms of customer journey, most of our leads, they will contact us through this contact us form, which we call get a quote. And you can see that we have quite a few information that we require our customer to give us so that they can give a fair share of detail about the event they would like to plan. Because at Odea, we like efficiency. We would like our salespeople to arrive at the first meeting prepared, and that's why we ask all of this information. So let's fill this form as a customer would. And you may be wondering why here it's already filled in with some information, and that's simply because I'm logged in as Rosalie, but any new customer would not see anything there. So here, my customer is called Grégoire Van Albada. His phone number is this one, and his email jou.com. So as you guessed, he works for Peugeot, and he would like to organize a masquerade party for a team building event. So let's say masquerade themed team building. So he would like, even if it's very short notice, to do it next Friday, and it would be only for one night. So in terms of participants, he's not quite sure yet, but it would be about 100 to 120 with a budget of 13,000 euro. So he has no questions, so let's submit this form, and you will see that this will create an opportunity in the backend in the CRM.
You mentioned that it's going to create an opportunity. Do you actually know how we configure it to have an opportunity and not just an email that is being sent?
Actually, I'm not so sure, but let's look together. So I'm going back into the get a quote, and I will open my edit mode because that's usually where the magic happens. So I will click on submit, but I could click on any field actually. And here I can see that I have an action that's create an opportunity. But if I open it, I can see that I could do much more actually. So thanks for the tip, Rosalie. And let's go into our CRM to see what it looks like. Sorry. So here you see nothing, and that's normal because this opportunity is not yet assigned. So I will remove this filter, open it, and here we are. So in the contact, you can see that I know who my customer is, how to contact him, and all of the information he gave about the event. So I already have a few ideas in mind, and I will plan a meeting with him so that we can create a quote. Because no, I won't have to tell the customer, okay, let's wait for 1 week that I have the time to compute the quote. I will do it right in front of him. So in real life, I would probably create an activity to keep track of the meeting in my calendar. But here, let's keep it simple. I will move it to the proposition stage, assign myself to let the colleagues know I'm working on it. And let's click on new rental. Why rental and not simply new quotation? Well, we will rent a few things. So most likely we will rent some furniture, some masks, as you will see. So let's click here. It prompts me here to create a new customer because this email is not yet in Odoo. So I will do. And here my customer is created and already linked to that order. Here, Rosalie will have to help me because I'm not so sure about the next steps. I guess I would have to add a section and products. Is that right?
I mean, you could do it this way, but it's not going to be very efficient. We're going to use the quotation template because it's already being configured and then you don't have to think about anything.
Okay, let's try. And here, indeed, now I remember that our teams are gathered here in the quotation templates. And I will just go into the configuration to see a little bit how it looks like. So I can see that I have all of my sections and my products that are already prepared and pre-configured so that they will be copied to my quote. I have a link with my quote calculator here and also a specific cover page for my quotes that I've linked to it as well. Okay, super interesting. We can see them here as well, quote calculator, the lines, and the quote builder. Okay, so let me set the rental period, which is actually just the start and end date of my event. And here it would be next Friday from 6 to 2:30. And here we are. Here, Richard told me that I should click on update rental prices, so I will do it, but not quite sure what this actually does because I know that some of our prices, they come from the product template, some of them from the rental period, some of them from the number of participants, so maybe you can tell me more about it?
Yes, let's check it out together. So actually, when you clicked on this, it went and looked at duration. So here 9 hours, and it checked if the price for our rental products was correct. So let's check our mask because this one is a product that is a rental product. We can see here that the price that we have is €3. And if I click on my product, which is indeed set as rental, my sales price is only one. Well, it's because in my rental prices here, I've indicated that I have different price for a different period. Here we are 8 hour, 9 hour, 8 hour, I don't remember. But so we are more than 3 hours. We fall into our daily period, which is a price of €3 per mask. So it's super handy. Now, that's not the only information that I have on here. This is also a goods for which I want to track my inventory. So I want to know at all time, well, if I can actually provide these masks to the customers. So by doing this, I'm sure that it's going to be great.
Okay, so I get it. This is how we configure the rental products. Now, what about the services, like our photographer, for example?
Yeah. So photographer, they're quite nice because we actually don't do it in-house. We do it with some freelancers. So it is something for which we also indicate that it's a rental. We do have a rental price, but we are not going to use this. What we are actually going to use is our vendor price list. So the vendor price list is a price that the customer is telling us that they're going to charge us. The way that we are going to do it, and we will see it in the quote calculator, is that we want this price with a small margin, and this margin is what we are going to get paid. But as long as we are on this product, it's interesting to know that this one is a service. And actually, because it's something that we work with freelancers, we are going also to plan a service. The rental is going to be for our internal use and the planning for them.
Okay, so I see indeed that we can plan services, but what does it mean exactly to plan services as a photographer?
Well, when you plan it, you can give it a role, and here it's going to be a photographer. And it's quite handy because on that role, I can indicate the resource that can here take photos. So I have my three freelancers, and just by doing that, I'm sure that when I'm going to plan it, it's going to have the correct people, and that I'm going to be able to send them the planning. We can also see that there is a possibility to sync my shift with my rental order. So it's super nice. It means that the rental time, so when my event start and end, is also going to be translated directly into my planning app.
Okay, so that's how we configure services, rental products, but what about the most complicated ones with multiple attendees and so on?
Yeah, so for that, we are going to use our quote calculator. So as we will see, quote calculator is an Excel. The first thing that's good to mention is that as soon as I add it on a quotation template, it actually duplicates this sheet to have its own sheet per sale order.
And what's the impact of duplicating it?
Well, it's really nice because it means that I can really modify it as I want on the sale order itself, and it's not going to impact my template. And also on the other way around, if I were to adapt my template, it's not going to have an impact on my existing quotation. So I'm sure that I don't mess anything up. Now let's jump into it. Like I mentioned, it's an Excel. So it's going to have the look of an Excel, but it also means that I can use the formula of Excel, which is really, really nice. For our events, we let actually the customer choose if they want to do it at our location or a location that they have already rented. And as I mentioned, because it's Excel, we can have some formula that we have directly here. If the customer were to say that they were going to do in-house, so at our place, you will see that the address, the size, but also our venue price is going to change. So it's really nice because we can keep this flexibility, but also have this structure that we're going to have. Here, the customer says that they are going to rent the Brussels Expo Hall 10, which is actually quite a big place. So, because it's a big place, we want to make sure that there is enough decor to be able to have like this wow effect. And I'm going to see here that currently I have 0 masquerade decor packages, but as soon as I'm going to adapt or size, it's going to indicate to me which number of packages I could have. So once again, it's just a regular formula. Of course, it's just an example. Here, the customer, they told us that they really want to up it up for them. So we are going to indicate 3. And because it is a copy, I don't have to be afraid that it's going to mess up my template. Okay, so now we've set up where this party is going to happen, but we also should indicate, of course, the customer budget. So Daphne mentioned it's 13,000 that they can have, and I'm going to see that I am already kind of like far into my budget, which is nice because now I have this visualization, of where I'm sitting in my budget. But I also have this really nice cost, separation, so that I can see also where these costs are happening.
Yes, indeed. And I can see that here the food and drinks take the most part of the budget. And I know also that we can change the menu, but what about customizing it further? Like, I don't want any appetizers, for example.
Yeah, so the customer, they can first choose any menu that we have. Currently, we only have two, menu A or B. And we can then indicate what they want. Of course, I should first indicate how many people we have here because they were not really sure if it was like 100 to 120. Let's add 120. We see that we are a little bit over budget now, but let's not worry about this for now. So appetizer, they don't want any, so we can directly adapt it, and we see that we're now back into my budget. For the starter, they only want, they want 50-50, so 60 of each, main course, everything non-vegan, and they have kind of a sweet tooth, so we are going to add some extra desserts. So this is what we are going to offer them for food and drinks. For beverage and service staff, well, once again, this is just something that we would propose to them because we think that it is the best numbers of staff and beverage package that we need to have. We could, of course, adapt it so that we are also sure that the customer knows exactly what they have gotten as a food. We do always a small recap, so it's very, very nice. We don't only offer food, of course, we offer our photograph services with our freelancers. So directly from here, I can indicate which partner I want to use, and we can see that automatically I have my price that is being adapted. And this is so their hourly prices plus our margin.
So this comes from live data from the database then.
Yeah, exactly. So here I've actually put these information into my price photographer. So if I go into it, I can see that I have for my three vendors a price for this. They have the same price for photographer and a video. If I were to click on it, I'm going to see that actually this is a Odoo formula. So these are formula that Odoo directly did so that we can fetch some data directly into our spreadsheet. And here what we get from this is that we have the price for first line, so here for Evenpix Studio, and this is coming from our second data source. If I were to check here, I indeed have two data sources. One is my vendor price list and one is my sale order lines. And we do take here the supplier price list for my photo and video products.
Okay, so if I understand well, that's also how we retrieve data from the sales order onto the quote calculator.
Exactly. So here, just so that we could have a better view, I added all of my current SL lines. So I take only the product over, and I can see that I have really the same way of having my information. If I check for my event management, here it's taking my unit price. So actually here it's always a technical name of my first line of my first data source. So it's really neat, but I don't always need to leave it in such like list. I can reuse them somewhere else. So if I check for my event organization services, I can see that this is exactly the same formula that I'm using and I'm retrieving that data. We have the same for our taxi services, but here it's not always like obligated that I do this. So I can see that I can use Odoo formula inside of a other formula. So very, very handy. But here, actually, they're only going to pay 300 because their hotel is quite near the Brussels Expo. So we can, diminish this. So it's quite nice.
Okay, so now we have everything that we need for our quote on our quote calculator, but how do we get it back onto the quote itself?
Actually, you only need to push here on Save in SO. Of course, you have to make some configuration before, and let's check these out. So you may have noticed, but for some cells, we have a small purple triangle here, and this means that there is a synchronization between that cell and our sale order. If I were to check it out, so on the right click, I can go and edit my synchronization. And indeed, it's mentioning that my cell, so my D14, is going to sync my unit price for my first record, which, if you remember, was indeed my event organization services. And if I check my taxi service fee, is the same principle, but here now we are adapting it for the second record. But the really good thing is that we can not only change the unit price, we can adapt any field that we have on our sale order lines. Like if I were to check my recap of food, here we are adapting the description of our third record. Or, for example, our masquerade decor is going to be the quantity. But we have all of these fields that we could potentially adapt. So now that we've seen how it was first configured, let's just click on Save, and all of my data is now directly into my quotation order. And yes, indeed, I can see that my taxi service fees has been adapted. I have my description for my menu A, and for my masquerade package decor, I have also the quantity that's been adapted. Nice, right?
Nice. So now our quote is ready. We have to send it to the customer. And I don't know if you know this, but the boss has asked me to set up a a document to go with our quotes, a PDF that would be like a quote folder, actually. So before showing you the final product, I will go into the quote builder tab here so that you can see the structure. So you've seen before when we were in the quotation template that we have a specific header, so a cover page that will be before our quote.
Nice.
And we have some free text here that we can leave blank or not to add some more specific comments for this specific sales order onto the cover. So it will be written on it. Let's say here an incredible team building. And we'll see how it looks like later. And then we have a product document that appears just because I have the menu A in the order lines of my sales order. So here I will click to display it as well. You may have noticed that here the header was already selected, and that's because we added it by default, but we'll see this later in the configuration. So let me print it. And here it is. So besides being struck by its incredible beauty, you can see that I have multiple pages here. I have 6. I have 2 pages for my cover. Here I have my product document, which is also 2 pages long. And then I have my quote with all of the details that we have written with the quote calculator as well. So there's something I'm really proud to have set up, and it's this. So you can see here that we have the reference of the quote, name of the customer, the order date, and other free text as well. And this is completely dynamic. You didn't see me type or copy paste all of it. So that's really practical.
And how did you do that?
Maybe I will show you the whole structure of the PDF. So let's go here into the product document first because it's the most simple. So I will click on the menu A. And here you can see that I have a document that's linked to it. So it's just a regular PDF actually that I uploaded by clicking on upload. And I set the visibility inside the quote so that it appears inside the quote. So that's all for the product document. Now let's go into the headers and the footers, which are the cover page and the last page of the quotes. So thanks. To do this, we are going to go into our shortcuts and search for header because it goes much faster. And here we are. So you can see that I have 1 header per quotation template here because we really want the customer to know what he can expect from this event. So they're customized. And if I click here on edit, you will see that it's added by default. And so that's why it was selected already. Then another thing, if we open it here, is that you can see that I have those weird little boxes there, which are actually my dynamic fields.
Okay. And how did you make them dynamic?
Actually, it's super simple. Let's go into Scribus to show you this. So Scribus is an open source software that I used for this, but you could also use Adobe Pro, for example. So I will simply need to add a PDF text field here, drag and drop it wherever I want. If I click on it twice, you will see that I have a name that I can put. And so here I will, by simplicity, actually put the technical name of the field I want to show here. So let's say project ID, so that if I have a project linked to it, it will be displayed. So that's not the only thing, because here it will just be black and in Arial. So I want to make it look like the rest of my PDF. So let's go into the content properties. Here I will be able to change the font, the size, and the color as well. And what's really practical here is that we already have the color palette of the PDF. And here we are.
And that's it?
There's actually one more step. So let's go back into Odoo and let's open the edit here on this cover. So I will need to secure the link with my field and the field on my PDF. And to do this, I will need to be in developer mode. So here again, let's go into the shortcuts, write debug. And then I will have to refresh the page. And here we are. So we have the configure dynamic fields here. If I put it back into big screen. And we have the path here that we can rewrite if you want. And here you can notice as well that in the free text, I have nothing written. That's normal, because if I don't link it to anything, it just becomes a free text field, as the name here says.
That's nice.
So that's it. If that's clear for you, maybe let's go back into the flow. I will go to the rental again so that we can find our order. And let me recap a little bit because we've seen a lot of things. We've seen how we can create a lead from a form on the website. We've seen how we can create a rental order from it. You've explained us how the pricing works and how we can use multiple variables to compute it. And then we've seen how to make beautiful PDFs. So now that we have this PDF, we can just send it to the customer, which I will do by clicking on Send. And here, as I told you, we pay a lot of attention to our communication. So we customize the email template, actually using the email marketing app so that it fits our branding. And I could also change it last minute if I wanted. But here, I think it's already good. And we have the quotation that's already attached. So let's send it. And within this email, the customer will receive a link to allow us to view the quotation online. So it will look something like this, and we'll be able to sign and pay it directly. But here, let's make it simple. I will just confirm it myself.
Nice. And I don't know if you noticed, but as soon as you confirm it, you got some buttons here. Do you know what they are?
Actually, I'm not so sure.
Well, it's actually quite handy because these are the links that we have between a rental order and our other application. So, as you know, event management can be a bit difficult, and we want to make sure that we are not forgetting anything. That's why on my event management product, I made sure that every time that I'm using it, that is going to create a project. And for this, we are using a project template, which has 5 tasks as is being linked to this. It's something that needs to be done for every event. So when I confirm my sale order, I automatically have this new project that has been created with its 5 tasks, which I can also directly have from my rental order. So it is so handy. And like sometime, for example, this customer didn't really know how many people were going to come, and if last minute they need more people, and that we can still accommodate, maybe we would need to create a new rental order. And it's really neat because directly from my project, I can now create my new rental order and make sure that these two rental are linked to the same project, so that of course I don't lose the link between all of them. I can do this through my top menu, which I can have here, and I can see here that I've already selected my rental order. So when I click on it, I'm going to see here the current rental order that I have that is linked to this project. And I can create a new one. And I'm going to see that, of course, it's for the same customer and my project is automatically already linked to it. I can then add anything that I want and it's going to be linked to this project. So it's super, super neat. But of course, we are also working, if you remember, with freelancers. So with this freelancer, we wanted to be able to have their shift into our planning application so that we can send it to them. And this is what we have here. We have our planned hour that is being set. And indeed, I see that I have my photographer and my videographer for the time that we have here. So what's really nice is that I can directly publish here, and it will send an email to these freelancers, and I'm gonna have a lot of information in it. So let me first send it. So now my planning is being set. Here, let's see what it would look like in the planning. So this is the kind of planning that they would receive, where they can have information on the shift, the time, and also name of the customer and more information. So it's super handy for them. So that's the link that we have with our planning. They can have all of the information. Of course, now when we are going to arrive to the event, we need to make sure that we have everything that they need. So the products that we are renting to them. And we can make sure of this, checking this pickup list that we have. From here, I can see every product that I need to have. And when I have picked them up and that I've delivered them, I can validate it. When it's going to be time to take them, to return them to the warehouse, I can make the same things. Here you saw everything was actually already in stock, so I didn't have any issue. But it could arise that sometime a product is not available at that moment. I would need then, like to rent it from one of my suppliers. Actually, I would get from this pickup directly a notification. So, sorry, if I check, if a product was not available for that specific time, I would have this kind of warning that would rise up, and then I can make sure that I have everything that I need for, my event.
Okay, so that's how we see everything that's related to that one rental order. But what about a more general overview? How would you do it?
Well, it's actually very cool because I can have this whole schedule, which then I can see all of the events that I have planned. For example, this week we have 3 events planned, and we can see that for each of the product that they need, I can see how many they need. I can see, for example, for here my furniture rental, that I have 300 of these items. And so I'm good because I only need 120 on this day. Bob, who is our inventory guy, he really loves it because directly from here, he can see everything that he needs to prepare and at what date.
Okay, I can't wait to make my first sale and see such an event come to life.
You'll do such a good job.
Okay, so it's time now to step out of our roles and do a little conclusion. We've seen a lot of things today. We've seen the whole sales process of an event, actually, from the lead acquisition to the project upsells, even. And if we only had to remember a few takeaway about today, they would be the following. So first, with the quote calculator, we can simplify complex computation and adapt to our customers' needs very easily to provide accurate and clear quotes. It's also relying on dynamic data from the database, which allow you to completely avoid copy pasting and errors. Then the quote builder also relies on dynamic data from the sales order to create a beautiful PDF that matches your branding. And both of those, so the quote calculator and the quote builder, they are gathered into the quotation template, which in our case allow us to have a themed event, but you could use it for different type of any sales actually. Then, in terms of integration with the other apps, we've seen the link between the rental and the CRM by creating directly a rental quote into from our opportunity. Then, how we can check all of the sales relative to one project inside the project top menu, and how we can see the assigned staff and freelancers from the planning. Lastly, we've seen how we can have an overview of all of the rented material for one or multiple orders. And one last thing is that we used the event industry to do that, which has simplified a lot the configuration of this database because we already have had complete website and some products as well. And it's available for a multitude of sectors, about 100. So in conclusion, Odoo takes care of the details so that you can focus on creating unforgettable experiences. And now it's time for the questions.
Otherwise, you can open it here. Yeah. So can we add some product to the quotation from the quotation builder? Yeah. Sorry. Well, let's just start. So can we add a product to the quotation from the quotation builder, like a new line? Here, what I am understanding from this question, hey, is that if you want to add, yeah, directly on the quotation. So of course, we didn't add anything when we were in it, but it is still a regular sale that you have. So if I were to take this one, I have then my quotation templates, but we can still add any product. We can also remove any. This is just a template so that we can have all of that information.
Yeah. But if the question is about the code calculator, because you said
Yeah.
code builder, but I'm not sure, we can also do it, and we actually did it for this use case, because if you go here, we hid some lines, and you can say that you want, oops, if I can unhide them.
No.
Is it? No?
I think you're not wise. Let me click here.
Okay. So you can see that you can change the food product ID, food product variant, and so replace a product in your order from there as well.
And just also to make 100% sure, if I were to add another product here, so let's say, actually, whatever, bar, and that I go back into my quote calculator, that product is also added here. So I'm not losing any data and I'm always up to date with this. It's a quote. All right. Lines only allowed to edit line frame, not add. Yeah, I'm not sure for this. All right, are we limited in the field that we can use in the quote builder? We were limited in Odoo 17. We are not. I mean, we can use any one that we want. Indeed, before you could only select from a specific list. So here, what they're talking about is that if I go back to my header, these dynamic field, we could only use specific ones. Here, what's really nice is that you can add any technical name of your field, and it would directly link to this product.
All right, I will take over. Thank you. Can I add multiple header to a template or multiple document to a product and then choose the one I want when doing the quotation? I can answer if you want.
But yes, indeed, you can choose as many as you want, and that's why also from what we show that we can have some by default. If you want to be able to choose every time, I would suggest then not to add them by default, and you can really have it. So that goes for the cover, the footer, and as well any product document.
Thank you. And next one is, do I need to put the technical name of the field in Scribus?
Not exactly. So here we did it for facility because it's easier when you check here that you already have your technical name. But here, technically, I can change this. So even if Odoo doesn't find it because it's not the right name, you can still write it down manually.
So, and just also, like for example, these fields, Odoo found this automatically because we put the same name. So it's really to make your life easier.
All right. Next one. If I duplicate a quotation after modifying the quote calculator, does it duplicate the modifications? Is it linked to the same copy of the calculation?
It will be linked to the same copy.
All right.
So basically, don't do that. Or if you want to have the exact same thing, then it's good. But if you really want to start fresh, just use the quotation template because that's what actually it does. It
Yeah.
retake every info and add in again.
All right. Is it possible to install an industry option on an existing basis? I would say no. I mean,
No,
it's not advised.
yeah, there is. I actually don't think that you can do it if you already have data on your database, so that it doesn't create conflicts. But I would not suggest it. Maybe check what they have and see if you can replicate it yourself, or
Or as we
yeah.
always say, duplicate, please.
Yeah.
Is it possible that the quote is also with a blue background and yellow letters, or is it the rest of the PDF? It's very specific.
Can you repeat the question, maybe?
Is it possible that the quote is also with a blue background and
Oh.
yellow letters, or is the rest of the PDF?
I
guess
think
the
yeah, like
yeah.
the quote.
Okay.
Well, not with this. It would be like a development to adapt it.
Yeah, actually, you can customize it from there, your quote document. But so we have a lot of layouts available. You can customize a bit the colors, but the whole background would not be probably blue.
Yeah. You could add something like here, but I would not really suggest it because I'm not sure that it would look good with like the black that you have here.
last question so far. It's a good one. Can you
Okay.
make a sell order by joining rental product and subscription?
I actually haven't tried it. We can check it out together.
I think so.
But I think that you would not have any issue. Of course, I do think that it's a bit weird maybe to have them both in the same space. I actually don't have any. We don't have
Subscription
subscription.
We don't have the app.
Actually, I don't think it works like in terms of logistics.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I would suggest to have. I'm gonna check if we have. No, we don't have a subscription installed. But I would say that it's two different needs because one is going to be a one-time offer and something that needs to be like being doing every time. So in terms of visibility, that would not be the best.
All right, we have someone, a friend of us, who's answering.
All right, thanks, perfect.
It treats it as a sub. When you add a sub product to a rental, it does that.
All right,
Okay.
awesome.
Thank you.
So it works.
That's it for now. Thanks everyone for listening this amazing talk. Really well prepared, I have to say. And have a nice one.
Thank you. See you guys.